Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Secrets of the Sire. I'm your host, Michael Dolce, coming to you live from New York City. Tonight, we are going to be talking Avengers Endgame trailer. We're going to play a little choose-your-own-adventure style to figure out the end of that. Aquaman, is it sink or swim? And how many water puns can we suss out of all the reviews that are now out? Brian Volk Weiss from The Toys That Made Us will be joining us. And in studio tonight, we have our very own Miss Kai Cole from Talking Alternative Broadcasting. I'm your host, Michael Dolce. As always, I'm joined by Mr. Hassan Godwin, Lord of the Radio. How are you doing, sir?
Points for using sus in a contemporary sentence.
You like that, right? I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was...
Well, I don't know about good, but I mean, you get points.
Something. It was definitely...
I don't know what kind of points you get, but you get kind of points.
It was good. It was
okay. Everyone's looking up sus now, right now, because it sounds terrible. It sounds dirty.
It's very British.
We're not British.
Well,
we're obviously not British.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So,
continue to not be British.
All right, we've got a great show, but I want to do a little housekeeping before we go into it. In 2 weeks, we've got our 150th episode, and we'll be broadcasting live from Funny Business and Main Street in Nyack, New York, the beautiful Rockland County area. We are going to be celebrating it in style. We'll be reviewing the Aquaman movie because it's going to be finally out at that point. Lisa Hawkins from Valiant Entertainment is going to be joining us there as well, too. And we're going to have a live studio audience, so that's going to be pretty exciting. We'll do some fun things. Now, Kai, because you're here, we're going to do some fun things as well, too, that involves Avengers Endgame. So did you guys see the trailer? Hey, that was your homework. Go see the trailer.
Did you tell us that was our homework?
I just assumed you kind of saw it. Did I make an ass out of you and me?
Well, you got that half right.
Yeah. All right, look, before we get into the Choose Your Own Adventure style, let me ask you, Mr. Hassan, what mysteries are still going on, okay?
In the world?
No.
We have not found the Grail yet. Hoff is still missing.
You found the grill?
Grail.
Oh, the Holy Grail. Like the Holy Hand Grenade? Okay. Well, it sounded like grill. I didn't know. I didn't know your grill was missing.
You wouldn't be hungry now if you hadn't eaten that burrito on the go.
Oh, that burrito was fantastic.
It's starting to light in your guts right now.
As was my driving. All right, this came from Screen Rant.
What do you mean by mysteries?
I'll tell you, 10 things that are still a mystery after the Avengers Endgame trailer.
Oh my God, everything's going to be a mystery because we haven't seen the movie yet.
Well, I know, but I mean, that's
ridiculous.
Sometimes trailers reveal too much. In this particular case.
So now we're upset that the trailer didn't reveal enough.
Who's upset? Gave us great talking points for this. We get to discuss.
Your morals are in question.
My morals?
Yes.
I don't even know how that plays into this.
I find you morally questionable.
What role will Thanos play? Thanos. I said Thanos.
Thanos.
Yeah. I'm on like a buddy with him.
Yeah.
So like Thanos
Fanny.
is like, yeah.
Fanny, my boy Fanny.
Fanny and I are we're pretty tight.
I suspect he's going to be the bad guy.
But in the trailer, he's not even really there. It's just the Scarecrow, which is an homage to Infinity Gauntlet. There's really no sight or scene of him in that trailer. So, I mean, is he even in the movie? So his hand. You do see his hand. Yeah, kind of like, Russell.
How could he not be in the movie?
He actually had the gladiator hand as he was going by, like where gladiators
How could
rejoicing.
He not be in the movie?
I don't know.
Okay, so then that's kind of...
Where's everyone else? We're missing
Everyone's
a whole
dead.
bunch of people. People who we didn't see died. There was a brief shot of Nebula, which was pretty good. We did see some folks in there, but we're missing War Machine, Rocket Raccoon. We're missing some others, so we don't have the full puzzle there, right? That's what I sound like right there.
He's doing it all to himself. It's not even me. I'm not
Wakanda.
Even
Well, the funny thing is that we don't even have to say anything, and Kai's just like bursting laughing, and she's like our hype woman. That's the best part about this, though, right? Like you're like at those press conferences where a reporter will say something, and like the athlete, the coach, or the actor will like say something that's really not funny, but everyone goes, "Oh, it's the funniest thing ever."
I'm trying to keep it together.
That's you for us. That's you right now for us, which we appreciate.
My pleasure.
Like greatly.
You just said she's a faker. You just called her a faker.
I called her a fraud. It's much different. I called her an absolute fraud. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
Laugh
wrong.
Poser.
There's nothing wrong with being a fraud.
Stop laughing.
All right, so give me something. Did you get anything out of this trailer that you were maybe
Don't you
that
know
you can
better than
maybe
to ask me that
procrastinate.
question?
Wait, I didn't finish asking you the question. I'm
I've
I
already
am
heard
trying
your
to work
question.
on my questions to you.
Oh, okay.
So that it is
hold
not
on.
pulling teeth
Everybody,
to get an answer.
Everybody, let's wait. Proceed.
Did you get
No.
anything out of this trailer that offered some sort of hint as to where you think the story is going to go?
No.
What about Hawkeye dressed as Ronin? That was actually a key piece that was in the trailer.
Okay.
Was his look and feel was that of Ronin? So that's a character that he's assumed in the comics.
I'm terrible at these things because there's a percentage of stuff that I don't want to know because
Yeah.
I'd like to go see it
Yeah.
like normal person and go, ooh, that's awesome. Instead of listening to 150 movie pundits who over speculate everything to the point where when you see it, you're disappointed because half of the theories were better than actually what happened.
That's an excellent point. Actually, you do have those occasionally. There is something
They blame the entire Last Jedi debacle on all the speculation,
Yeah.
which is not true. It's not a good movie,
right.
but a lot of the blame went to how over speculated.
So it creates a false sense of hype then.
Yeah. Which everyone will use, which is wonderful for the companies, which is wonderful for commerce, but it's not really wonderful for the consumer.
Kai, are you a trailer buff? Do you feast on trailers before you go see the movie, or
She
you
laughs
try to
too
go
much.
into?
She's not gonna-
Are you trying to go into
Every
movies
trailer
like
is a wonderful
completely-
experience for her, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
No. Why? Because
I love her fraud face. You see that?
Yeah,
She's
you
laughing,
did.
but
Yeah,
then
and it just
she
switched.
she just Bill Clinton that.
Yeah.
She's just like
That was total.
laughing off camera, and then the camera goes. She's like, I'm very sorry.
Let me
for you.
explain about the
I'm
economy.
very, very sorry about you. All right, now go on. What do you think?
typically I get into the movie theater.
Yeah.
A lot of times Dell takes me to the dine-in movie. So
Oh,
we have
boy.
the food
Yep, Dell's
and we've
her
got
fiancé.
the yes, Dell,
For-
my fiance.
Yeah.
This
Context.
is not your show. They don't know
Context
who
is
you are.
important.
Thanks. So we sit down, the reclining seats. About 5 minutes into the movie, I'm asleep. This has happened with John Wick 2.
Oh my
This
God.
has happened recently with
I can't
Fantastic
get through John Wick
Beasts.
2, actually. I'm a half an hour
Everybody
into that.
gets killed. It's a murder fest. How
I know, I
can you go
haven't
to
got-
sleep during John Wick 2?
Well, I haven't gotten to the Murder Fest. I still can't get through that movie, which is terrible. I love the first movie, and for some reason I'm watching
The
the second one,
movie is wonderful.
thinking it's
It's not as good
unnecessary.
as the first movie,
just
but it's a come on, it's a bullet carnival.
I don't know how they're going to make a 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be
That's
awesome because
easy.
he's
actually.
he's
At
the
this
bad
point
guy.
now, yeah. At this
He's
point
on the
now,
outs. It's gonna happen just like the Dark Knight Rises, where it's gonna be 8 years later, and even though they set it, the last movie set it up where he's gonna have to fight every assassin in the city. It's gonna be 8 years later. He's gonna be all old, and we're gonna have missed the entire assassin war. That's how it's gonna work.
That's it.
Yeah,
All right.
that's it. Are you done now? Did I
Well, no, we're still.
did I
talking- we're still
convincingly
talking about
cover
Kai.
for you while you had your
we
little
have
technical
to
moment?
figure out why Kai falls asleep during movies.
No, we don't.
No.
No.
All right, we'll just move
She's
on.
got to get 8 hours of sleep at night, and then she'll be able to go into a dark room and not pass out.
I think I get like anxiety, like pre-movie anxiety, like, oh my gosh, is this going to be as good as I hope it is?
To the
But
point
if
where
I
you
fall
pass out?
asleep, yeah, I fall asleep, and then I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about those expectations anymore. Done.
We can't help her. that's an
Kai, did
that's-
you know what show
that's a-
you were going to be on
That's
tonight?
a way deeper problem.
like Hassan's never prepared for anything for the show.
I didn't know
You
who I
you
was
were
gonna be
like-
sitting next
You're
to.
like sitting around being like,
Never prepared.
I thought this was a life coach show. Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on here? Like,
It was
I
for a
thought we were
little
going to talk
while.
about spiritual healing. What's going on here?
Points to me for actually avoiding the life coach joke that I was going to make, but
Why?
didn't.
They're so
There's no
good.
points. There's no. In fact, you.
I
lose
know. I'm
points
taking
for
the
not
point.
making the joke.
I award myself the point. I'm self-awarded.
So let's suffice to say the Avengers trailer, the most. What's the scene in that trailer that stands out the most? Probably the Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Opener?
Well, yeah, because it's
It's the most fleshed out scene.
Yeah, it's the most sequential piece of information that they gave us.
See, but I would argue that the most standout
Ant-Man?
scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as a guy who was not a fan of Ant-Man 2, I've not only
required that because I mean that was such a depressing trailer. It was
Yes.
such a downtrodden trailer, so it required that little piece at the end.
It was strategic. That was
Oh,
under
strategery.
expectations.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the thing that I loved about it, and again, being someone who did not like the Ant-Man 2 movie very much at all, to have it in that particular way. Like Ant-Man to me is Joey from Friends. He's an awesome like supporting character. He brings that levity. He brings it to carry his own movie. I get a little too much after a while. Like I don't need to see Joey living with his sister.
Yeah, but he liked
out
Venom.
Yeah, I did like Venom.
So
I did like Venom.
I didn't
What
fall
does she
asleep on
know?
that one.
What
I
did-
didn't fall
Oh,
asleep on that one.
So she said she liked it then, is what she just
She
said.
didn't say she liked it. She said she didn't fall asleep.
Listen, Mikey
She's
said he
in no
liked it.
position to judge whether it was good or bad. She has no reference. She's fallen asleep through every other movie.
So just the fact
She's
that
like-
she's awake in front of a movie
she's
screen,
like,
this
is
is
that
like
what-
this is a new experience
Is that
for
what
her.
credits are? They actually just roll all these names at the end of every movie. I've never seen this
But
before.
it was actually interesting. Like it had a plot.
Interesting is not necessarily good. There's a lot of interesting things that happen that aren't good.
And Venom switched hosts. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
dude.
even though it was against the canon that they established. They told us it was a complete problem, and then they just totally violated that rule, which made that movie suck.
You ruined the movie for me. I actually loved it up until you just said that.
Uh-huh.
Now I hate it.
Yeah, that's what I
Hated
do.
it. Hated
That's what
it.
I do. I spread hate.
I would say the Ant-Man scene, though, also having that in there, to me, left me more curious, left me buzzing more a little bit as to how did he get out of the quantum realm, which for anybody who hasn't seen Ant-Man 2, it's been 6 months. You got, it's your problem, not ours at this point. The end credit scene is, he's lost in the quantum realm at the
Yeah.
end. So
Either
obviously he gets out. We knew he'd get out.
One or two
but
predictions.
there's-
Either that's going to be an entire sequence of how he got out of the quantum realm, or it's going to be handled in one sentence.
So you would say you would choose a scenario and maybe run with it?
No. I'm just predicting that would be one of the two really bad exposition ways that they explain how he got out of the quantum verse.
Like if we were to play a choose your own adventure game? You
I'm
would
not
have
going to help you
two
segue.
Scenarios?
I'm not here to help you
You
segue.
just did though.
No, I didn't.
I think a cool thing to do would be to
Here we
do a
go.
choose your own adventure.
Oh, you do?
All right, we're gonna.
Did
pick,
you just come up with that?
We are gonna.
You are
pick-
such a genius.
We are gonna pick the 3 pivotal scenes from Avengers: Infinity War, and we are going to map out either how
Infinity
they.
War or Endgame?
Sorry, Endgame. I'm going
Ah.
to keep calling it Infinity. In fact, I misquoted it in my social media post today. I know. I'm like the worst. Whatever
Well,
this
I
is.
don't know if you're paying attention.
Like, because this literally
I don't
has
know
been
what
invented
this
the last
is.
like 5 years. Yeah, I'm the worst.
What you do? You're the negative Wolverine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're the worst
exactly,
at what
right,
you do.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we're gonna map out where we think this movie's going, and I'm gonna give you guys, both you guys, a series of questions, and you're gonna choose your heroes' paths, and we're gonna make Avengers: Endgame right here, right now, when we come back.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Did you know you've been playing poker your whole life, even if you've never played a hand of cards? Hi, I'm Ellen Lakin, author of Poker Woman and host of the new show, Poker Divas. On the show, I talk about how poker strategy helps you win in business, life, and love. Tune in live every Thursday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network. Are you stuck in a rut? Negative thoughts, feelings, and conversations got you down? Hi, I'm Noreen Sumter, the Potentiator. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time and listen for new ideas on my show, Beyond Potential, Live Life Your Way, on talkradio.nyc.
Who do you want to connect with?
Are you an entrepreneur or intrapreneur looking to build your following?
Welcome to our show.
Follow Me Friday with Joan.
And Priya
Tune in every Friday at noon Eastern.
on talkradio.nyc.
We're your digital connectors. Woo woo! High five!
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
We talk comics, movies, TV, pop culture, all the stuff that you love, and we do it right here.
Stuff that makes the girls run away.
Oh, well, clearly. No. That is completely false.
Stuff that makes the girls
That
leave.
is completely
I recommended
false.
Secrets of the Sire on my show, and I got less female listeners.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the
It's great to be
Sire. We
back.
do this every Wednesday night,
Love
8
it
p.m.
here.
Eastern, talkradio.nyc, and streaming live on Facebook. I'm excited about our guest coming up in third segment, too, by the way. Brian Volk Weiss from The Toys That Made Us is pretty excited and to talk about his new show, Discontinued. But first, we are doing Avengers Endgame, Choose Your Own Adventure style. We're taking the three most pivotal moments in the trailer.
Actually, you're doing it. You're making us do it.
Yes, I know.
So it's kind of a little different.
Semantics, my
experience from over
man.
here.
Semantics.
Yeah,
One way or the other,
yeah.
someone's talking in a microphone. Remember, whatever this is,
I'm always up for semantics.
we're going to do this. All right. Pivotal moment number
Sorry.
one.
I'm very sorry.
Tony Stark, lost in space. Who comes to rescue him?
Han Solo.
I like it. At this point, Disney's just F you.
Suddenly
Just
not
F you.
suddenly not dead.
F you.
Is it the young Han Solo or is it old grizzled Harrison Ford?
It has to be like a clone of him or something, because remember,
It's a clone
Star Wars
Solo.
Star Wars takes place. Star Wars takes place in a galaxy
a long time ago.
Long time
right?
ago, far
It's
away.
Clone Solo.
Yeah, it's clone Solo.
It could be Chewbacca because he could who knows how long he lives.
No, that guy's just fucking
Yeah,
ancient at this point.
He's 200 years old. He doesn't have any gray hair. He's going to be around a while. So,
All right, so we're gonna go with
Chewbacca.
We're gonna clone
Solo and
Chewbacca
Chewbacca.
is
And real
one, is
Chewbacca.
one option. Kai, who's another option of someone that could save Tony Stark?
Okay, the actor, I don't remember what his name is.
That's
right
okay,
now,
we'll help
forgive
you.
me.
We're not gonna help.
That plays Thanos, but as the
Josh
character,
Brolin, Cable.
as the character from
Cable.
Cable.
as the character,
this-
yeah,
see,
from
this is-
Deadpool.
So
This is
Deadpool.
huge. We are
Wow.
merging.
Wow.
Either the Disney Star Wars universe with the Disney Marvel universe, or the Fox Marvel universe with the Disney Marvel universe. All right,
There you go. There you go.
Sam, choose your own adventure. Which one do you select?
Captain Kirk saves him, of course.
I didn't ask you for a third choice. This is choose your own adventure. You got to pick one of those two options.
Do I have to pick one of those?
Yeah.
I get to pick my own?
No, I didn't.
I'll go with Cable.
Okay, all right. So Cable comes and saves him. We've got Logan. We've got all right. Or is it just Deadpool? We just got Deadpool in there, right?
I don't know. Who else is with him?
Oh.
All right.
I think the whole gang comes.
Oh, the whole gang.
All right. I'm gonna say
The entire movie, every time Cable walks in the room and talks and someone's got their back turned, they spin around with a sword or a gun.
So
Because
Kai,
his voice, because they swear it's Thanos.
so Kai has Deadpool, Domino. Who else is the whole gang? Who would constitute the whole gang?
Most of them are dead.
I'm gonna say it's actually just
Negasonic
Teenage Warrior. I'm gonna
Warrior.
sit there and say it is. He comes with Ryan Reynolds,
Colossus.
Green Lantern.
Oh wow!
I went there.
He's dead though.
Breaking all the rules.
All right,
here.
Hassan, choose your own adventure. Which of these two that we just came up with is who is in the gang?
Wait.
We're gonna keep the story going. Have you ever played this
Yeah.
game before?
Yeah, but I don't know who did we just come up with? You just said the whole gang
cast,
is there.
She said the whole gang, and
Yeah.
I said it's just Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern. with Cable.
Oh.
I don't want to have to make Sam pick
I'm gonna-
every time. That's
I'm
why I'm
gonna
trying to
go-
rotate this around here. a
I'm
little
going with Green Lantern.
bit. Okay. All right. So
I'm gonna
Green
go with
Lantern and
Green
Cable
Lantern.
save Tony Stark. They bring him back to Earth, and they reunite with the Avengers.
Earth, yes.
They reunite with the rest of the Avengers.
Where
so
Green
it's-
Lantern
so
fits
it's
in perfectly with the rest.
Captain America, and it's Black Widow, and it's, I guess, who else is it? The
Captain America, Black Widow, War Machine.
Yeah. So they're all there.
Ant-Man.
No, Ant-Man's
Hulk.
not there yet. Ant-Man's not there
Did you
Hulk.
say Captain America?
yet. We did.
Okay.
Hulk. Or Bruce Banner.
Okay, right. Yeah, he's in there. So they're all there. Okay. How the next step that happens? What character out of the bunch that we just said. So we've got Cable, we've got Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern. Who comes up with the option, the hero's journey to say, if we do this, we can then save the world, right? Like what is the hero?
Which one of them comes up with the plan?
Yeah, which one comes up with the
That's
plan?
gotta
We're going through movie magic here.
Out of the two that show
Yes,
up.
out of the two that show
it's
up,
got to be Cable.
it's got to be Cable.
Yeah.
Okay, you got Cable, Green Lantern or Cable?
Cable. I'm going.
All right, so we're choosing your own adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow we're all gonna end up in the cave by the end, though, because that's what ends up always happening when I read those damn books.
It's stuck in a cave.
All right, flashback. So right now, Cable comes up with a plan and says, if we acquire the, it's gotta be. There's always some mystical, magical object that he's got. Like, what if he just wants to get his time travel device, right? And he's just like, we can go back in time and fix all this.
No, well, that's
We're writing this stuff. Like Marvel, work with us, talk to us. This is genius.
I say he goes back in time to the point where he was in the Goonies, right? And he gets Data to help him from the
Slick
Goonies.
shoes.
Yeah.
Slick shoes.
And Data is the one who actually
Can I
comes
interject
up with
for a split second? I loved it as a kid, but how the hell did those chompers of death grab on and save them all?
You weren't supposed to ask those questions.
But I'm asking it now.
You
I'm
weren't
asking
supposed
it
to.
now.
I mean,
All right.
yeah. So he goes back in time. He gets Data.
Okay.
And he uses Data, and Data's going to destroy Thanos.
I'm going to say he goes back to Days of Futures Past. See, we're bringing the X-Men in here. We're going to do this if we can merge two. So and we'll do Sam. Days of Futures Past or the Goonies?
Oh, that's a tough one. You gotta be Goonies.
Yeah.
I really, really pity our listeners, by the way. This is making absolutely no sense. But I'm
I
actually
thought they
kind
were
of...
gonna get the heart from Davy Jones' locker. Like I thought that we were going there.
Oh.
Well, we didn't actually say what they were getting.
Ah.
So you're saying Heart of Davy Jones' locker. You're saying...
I'm saying the briefcase from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, that's a tough one. I got to agree with Sam. I think it's the briefcase from Pulp Fiction. That's what's going to save them. All right. Now this is the part where Ant-Man shows up now. So Captain America and Black Widow are staying put, and Cable, Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern, Tony Stark, Hulk, and all of Wakanda, who's ever left, and Baku, they're all going to find the briefcase from Pulp Fiction. Mm-hmm. This is how we're going to save. This is how they're going to save everything. Ant-Man shows up. How did he get out of the quantum realm?
How did he get out of there?
All right, Sam, I'll let you.
Yeah, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
He found a piece of bazooka bubble gum, and he chewed it, and then he blew a big bubble, and it pushed him out of the
All right, we're going Looney Tunes cartoon style. Go ahead. I like it.
I'm gonna have a hard time getting over that visual that I got from that. I think it was all a dream. It's a Bobby Kennedy. He pulls a Bobby.
Kai, Bazooka Joe or all a dream?
It's Bobby Ewing. Sorry, not Bobby
All
Kennedy.
a dream, but I'm gonna go for the Lost version.
Ah.
All right, you just my head hurts now. For this. Specify exactly what that means. I know the show Lost, and I love Lost, but isn't it all a dream?
You gotta clarify
like which
that.
is this?
That could be
is this like
anything.
the final season
gets
Lost?
smoke
Where there's like
monstered.
parallel, or is it Smoke Monster? Like what is
Smoke
this?
Monster Lost.
So see, there actually are parallels here,
Okay.
and that is that we think that
So
like
we're
all of these
in
people are
parallel
dead.
timelines the entire time,
Exactly.
and that is because of
exactly.
Ant-Man's escape.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, re-emerging from this now is the villain of this movie, though, who's going to be the challenge of this movie. We're following movie formula here, or storytelling formula, right? This the heroes have a goal.
Yes.
They have a means of doing it. Now a subplot has created an antagonist that is going to wreak havoc. Who is the villain that reemerges thanks to the splitting of timelines, a la Lost?
Me.
Well, yeah.
I was looking in both your directions, so that's my fault. Actually, that's my fault.
It's all good. I was thinking that that we could pull in a little TV here.
Go.
We could go with Preacher.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna jump in.
Ooh.
The creepy bald-headed dude from Temple of Doom. That's the guy.
Molaram.
Molaram.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hassan, choose your own adventure. Preacher or Molaram?
I gotta go with Molaram.
Oh, yeah, I know. That was an easy one. So
Undeniable.
Thanos and Molaram are now teamed up to take down this new Avengers team that has Ryan
man.
Reynolds, Green Lantern.
My money's on Thanos
Cable.
and Molaram.
And where did we say they went back in time to? The Goonies time, right? Yeah. They're in the Goonies time.
to get the briefcase from Pulp Fiction.
From Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Do the Fratellis have to get in the way.
But they help.
Oh, they help?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
that's
a
little
twist.
twist.
It's a plot twist.
That's a little twist.
Because they want to save the world too.
Unfortunately, they all get stuck in the cave at that point. And that ends your story. You have to start all over again. And
I hate when they get stuck in the cave.
This was actually pretty genius. I'm pretty excited. All right, we have to supply a conclusion.
Call yourself a genius.
I didn't call myself.
Yes,
I
you
called
did.
this collective of people.
Yeah.
Once again, I apologize to our normal viewers and downloaders for this wasting of your time. All right, the only other pivotal scene that I can think of has to be the conclusion of it. Hawkeye. Hawkeye emerges out of nowhere. He's pretty pissed off. Obviously, something happened. Did his family get killed? Or that's my selection. Kai, you want to jump in with one? We'll let Hassan choose.
Did his family get killed, or does he have another illegitimate child by Black Widow?
By Black Widow. All right. Why did he emerge as Ronin?
I think his family got killed.
Okay, all right. You're going straight forward. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. So he is going to swoop in and sacrifice.
Could be mad about his wardrobe though.
Between him and Ant-Man, one of the two has to sacrifice themselves to save it. There has to be a death, right? There has to be like an actual death that's going to stick in this movie as well too. One of them is going to be Hawkeye, and Hassan. Who's the other choice?
Who sacrifices himself?
Yeah, or themselves.
Green Lantern. He gets killed by Deadpool though.
Kai's gonna choose. Who we got? Choose your own adventure, real quick.
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern. So Green Lantern sacrifices himself, which you might say he did when he first got into the movie to begin with.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds sacrificed
Ryan Reynolds
himself.
gets murdered, and Green Lantern never happens.
And they're able to find the briefcase from Pulp Fiction. You know, the funny thing is our guest, Brian Volk Weiss, is actually on the line right now, too, because he's holding, and he's probably like, what kind of show
why have I done this to
did I
myself?
even do this? But they team up. They get the briefcase from Pulp Fiction. They vanquish Molaram. They vanquish Thanos. They rewind time. All the heroes come back except for Green Lantern because he's dead, and Vision too because we kind of predicted that. All right, when we come back, we've got the awesome Brian Volk Weiss, Toys That Made Us, when we return.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Do you like comic books and movies? How about TV and pop culture? Then you've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Michael Dolce, host of Secrets of the Sire. Joined every week by my co-host Hassan, Lord of the Radio Godwin. Together, we have over 15 years' experience creating graphic novels, screenplays, and more. Join us as we bring you the inside scoop on the pop culture universe you love to talk about. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc.
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
Rosario Dawson's just got like...
whoever her agent is.
She's like, put me in everything.
Yeah. But you don't mean everything, do you? No, I do.
No,
I mean everything.
I mean everything.
I want to be in someone's birthday cake next week.
That may have been the funniest thing you've ever said.
No.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We talk comics, movies, and TV and pop culture every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc. Before we get to Brian, I'm going to do a little spotlight on Miss Kai Cole. You are a wonderful talk radio host as well, too, at talkradio.nyc. Tell everyone what you got going on here.
Sure. The name is Our Daily Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And also today I'm featuring a magical skill.
What is that?
Tarot reading.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So we're going to have a look and see what is in the cards for you and Hassan or for Avengers Endgame, and we'll see what comes up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
OurDailyMagic.com.
Well, let's see it.
Sure.
We're doing it right now? 'Cause
yeah.
we're breaking all the rules. We're doing Choose Your Own Adventure. We're doing breaking down trailers in an unconventional way. We might as well do tarot cards as well, too.
Sure. All we have
Hassan's a big believer in all this, by the way.
This is where she finds out I'm an interloper from a dark dimension. This is why I'm here always making fun of everybody.
We're picking up on your energy.
Darn it. Here goes my cover.
That's it?
To start all over again in another dimension.
Yeah.
It's tough to relocate, man. It really is.
So all we are tasked with is asking the cards a question.
Okay.
And once we have that question, then I can shuffle and we can reveal the answer.
When will life stop sucking?
That's like a totally Hassan thing to say.
You know what? Let's pull a card for Hassan.
The card says, never.
It's possible. It's possible.
I like the live radio aspect of shuffling cards.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
right?
That's a sound effect we're using.
Yeah, totally. And we have to acknowledge that it takes time. All right, Hassan, we've got a card for you.
Wow, that is a mighty deck of cards. By the way.
It is. And you know what?
It is never.
Does that
Wait,
symbol
I'm
look
one of the
familiar?
Rebel Alliance?
Exactly.
I don't understand. That's why life sucks, is I'm with the rebellion.
So Hassan asked, when will life stop sucking? And he's got the sun here. The sun is the most positive card in the deck. So that means that it can stop sucking right now.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to hold you to that.
Sweet.
Next week, if things are still sucking, you're going to get a phone call.
Hey, all of the answers that we get here are
All right.
dependent upon your actions.
Here,
Oh.
can I ask
fault.
a question? Is that
Absolutely.
all right? We'll
That's
ask
how
a
this
question.
Oh. We're basking in the glow of my reading.
Will every hero that disappeared in Avengers Infinity War come back?
Okay, cool. Now you got to give me like 30 seconds to shuffle again.
Oh.
All right.
It was like more like 10 seconds. Come
Look
on.
at that deck of cards, man. That is a monstrous deck of cards.
I love this
That's
though.
not-
Like
that's not a joke.
other shows are like trying to give like pinpoint analysis of the trailer.
Yeah, we're reading tarot
doing
cards.
tarot cards.
Yeah.
This is how we're gonna do it.
Not any tarot
I got a
cards.
personal reading out of it, though. See? Well, like, life's about to stop sucking. That's good news.
It's very true, actually.
That's good news.
If you allow it.
Wow. If Sam would open a window, maybe we could start there. But no, see,
So what
you
was the
won't.
question again?
Will everybody from
everyone when he
Avengers,
snapped his
everybody
fingers.
who died in Avengers Infinity War, will they come back
Yeah.
in Endgame?
Okay. So the answer that we have here is, it's up for interpretation.
Okay.
And the card
Much
that
like
we,
our entire show is.
The card that we got is the Hermit. And the Hermit is about being like withdrawn and about going away to make yourselves better.
Okay.
So that could have a little bit to do here.
All
They're
right.
gonna go away to make themselves better.
They're gonna go away to make themselves better. All right.
right.
That is our prediction for Avengers Endgame. It's a travesty, but all right. I want to welcome our guest tonight. Really, really excited to have him. He's the creator of the Toys That Made Us, but he's actually been doing a whole bunch of stuff you've probably heard of and probably know about. And you don't even know it. Mr. Brian Volk Weiss, welcome. How's it going?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being on here. We're big fans of the show. I know you have a new show coming up, and we want to talk about that. But I want to dive into Toys That Made Us. How the heck did you end up getting something like that made? Because to me, it's such a no-brainer to all of us who were fans of this stuff growing up. But I feel like executives would be like, huh? Toys? What?
First of all, thank you for your kind words. I never take them for granted, and it's literally always nice to hear. So thank you. And you're more right than maybe you even know. It took me 7 years to sell the show, first of all. Second of all, the way I finally sold the show was I do a lot of business with Netflix, especially on the stand-up comedy side.
Yeah.
And there was an executive on the stand-up side who was moved to the unscripted documentary side. And I had already had, like a 2-year relationship with him, so we knew each other. And equally important to him knowing me, he had been to my house and seen my collection. So he knew, I don't consider this true about myself, but from his point of view, he knew that I was, quote, unquote, an authority on toys.
Yeah.
So I just kept calling him and emailing him and trying to get him to do the show for like months. And then one day he called me. I remember it like it was yesterday. And he goes, all right, man, we're not really sure if we should do a show about toys. But if we did a show about toys, and then he just started giving me all this information about, like, the kind of shows they like, why they like them, how they work, what's good, what's bad. I frantically scribbled it down. And then I would say within a couple weeks to a month, we shot a tape about 5 minutes to 6 minutes long that was based entirely on that conversation I had with him. And we shot half the tape in a toy store near my office called Blast from the Past.
Okay.
And we shot the other half in my living room, which we turned basically into a mini sound stage because I just kept taking toys from my collection and filming them in front of a white backdrop on a spinning table. We edited the whole thing together. And I sent him the tape, and then, it still took another 2 or 3 months. And then all of a sudden, not only did I get the call that they were going to do it, but instead of piloting the show, they were going to go straight to 8 episodes.
Wow.
And to be completely honest with you, that was really it. They told me the budget amount. We sent them a budget. They approved the budget. And then they let me pick the toys, and then we just were off to the races.
Let me ask you a question. We do graphic novels as well as doing this podcast and writing and stuff like that. And sometimes when it becomes your job, you lose a little bit of the initial love for it. Now that you are immersed in toys, you are like the toy guy now. Is your love for the toys, the action figures, and things like that? Is it still there, or are you oversaturated? Are you overburdened with you're the toy guy and now you have these toy questions?
On behalf of my wife and my bank account, I wish I was oversaturated and burnt out. Unfortunately for my wife and my bank account, the opposite has happened. An example I can give you, 2 examples actually. The first example is, believe it or not, up until the show, I was never into He-Man, ever. I didn't get it. I now have a shelf entirely dedicated to He-Man. So that's one example. The other example, before the show, I didn't own any prototypes or any, kind of crazy stuff. And now I got prototypes. Now I got stuff. I am.
So this show is
because of the people I know. My collection is nothing compared to them.
This show is.
If I remove some of the people that I know through the show, I really am starting to have like a halfway decent collection of. I have a prototype of the Gurney figure from the Dune line that LJN made for the David Lynch movie. Stuff like that I never had.
Yeah.
And now I have a lot of it. So it is even My Little Pony and Barbie and Hello Kitty. I have 2 Barbie dolls. I have 4 or 5 My Little Ponies. I'm obsessed with Gudetama from the Hello Kitty line. So, no, it has not been diminished at all.
So this show is a gateway drug for you, actually, is what you're saying. This show is now opened you up.
It's a gateway drug starting with heroin. Yeah, making a TV show about toys.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So watching the documentary, I watch tons of documentaries, and usually it's the people in the room, like talking heads, just going over verse and chapter, which is fine. That's kind of what I watch them for. But your show had dramatizations of actual scenes from all these these origin stories of where these toys came from. Whose idea was that to dramatize all that?
That was definitely my idea, and I had done that in other shows that I had produced. The reason for it is, and ironically, we're not doing them in future seasons because we needed more time in the episodes to tell the stories, and we actually have received very little feedback, negative or positive, about the reenactment. So it's funny that you asked me about it. But the reason was, I've always found it very interesting that there are these little moments in history for people or companies or nations that this one little moment changes everything. So the idea was to find those moments for each toy line and really dig into them to set up the whole story.
It really genuinely is one of my favorite parts about the show.
Sorry, it's a little hard to hear you. Which one?
The dramatizations are genuinely one of the highlights for me for the show. So I'm one of the first people to give you some feedback on it. It's really wonderful.
You've crushed him now.
Because I love making them.
You've crushed him now that you've revealed that it won't be in future episodes now.
I'll still be watching. Don't worry.
Last toy question, and then I want to talk about discontinued because we got to see the pilot and we got a lot of good questions about that. But out of your toy collection, what's the one that you're always like? What's the apple of your eye out of your toy collection that you always kind of show off or show somebody?
Gurney. Gurney from Dune.
At this point, it is that Gurney figure from Dune. That's mine. I cannot believe there's only 6 known to exist. I cannot believe I have it. But I also, my favorite character from all of Star Wars is not just Luke Skywalker, but very specifically Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker. I'm not even that big of a fan of Luke in the first 2 movies.
Right.
So I have a Kenner shipping box that says Kenner Return of the Jedi Luke. That, it was the box that like 24 figures went in when they shipped it to Toys R Us or whatever. So again, it's not a toy, of course, it's a box, but that is without a doubt one of my favorite things in my entire collection. I love that thing. And I also have a couple, I had the R2-D2 that I played with when I was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
That's very important to me. I have the die-cast Millennium Falcon from when I was a little kid. That's very important to me. And then, something that was mass-produced, and it's not that big a deal, but I never had one when I was a kid, and I always wanted one, and now I have it. I just got it about a year and a half ago, is the Cobra Hydrofoil.
Oh,
my friend
I still have mine.
It was my favorite thing in the world, maybe even more so than the full-size Millennium Falcon line toy. And I love my Cobra Hydrofoil.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. All right, we got a new show. It's called Discontinued. It's on the CW. Give our audience a sneak peek of what to expect from this show.
Sorry, would you mind repeating that?
Oh, I don't mind at all. So, Discontinued is coming on the CW. Just give our audience what it's about and the premise behind it. Can you
if I heard you correctly, and you cut out a little bit, so I hope I'm properly answering the question. The name of the show is Discontinued. It premieres on the CW, I believe Sunday night, December 16th. It's definitely December 16th. I think that's Sunday, at 9:30 p.m. And the whole premise of the show is I have always been fascinated by failure. And I've always really been like, I've just always wondered, you know, why certain things fail, and even if they work for 30 years, why do they eventually stop? So the original inspiration for the show was, I was at a thrift shop, and I saw, I don't know if you remember Rob the Robot from Nintendo, but Rob the Robot, I saw it in a thrift shop. I hadn't seen it in like 20 years, and I was like, oh my God, this thing was huge. I forgot all about it. And then I Googled it and Wikipedia'd it, and like it was literally only around for 2 years.
Wow.
It was a massive failure, and it was an amazing story behind it because of, you know, they used it so that Nintendos could be considered like a children's toy and all this other political logic behind why the toy existed. And that was the inspiration. So we really dug into all these things that we could think of that we thought were very well known, very interesting, and no longer exist. And we tried to explain what they were and explain why they went away and do it in a way that was humorous and people would enjoy it and not feel like they were in a classroom being lectured to.
Sure. The thing that caught my attention was some of the stuff that, you know, seen through today's lenses, you know, would seem a little like racist or stereotypical. Like the Taco Bell dog, I think, is one of the things that kind of struck us, and we're like, oh yeah, the Taco Bell dog. I remember that guy, you know. And it was a pretty cool, you know, to see these things through today's lens, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you like that, you should have seen what we didn't do. I mean, there used to be this detergent called Calgon.
I remember
like
Calgon, take
Google
me away.
Calgon commercial. And, like, you will not even believe these things. Like, I mean, they're the most racist, sexist things. Like, even at the time, I can't believe they were made.
Yeah.
So that... We didn't get into that, but needless to say, there's way worse than the Taco Bell dog. Poor Gidget.
Oh, man. Well, Brian, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure. When does Season 3 for The Toys That Made Us come out?
Hello?
Oh, can you hear us? When does Season 3 for The Toys That Made Us come out?
Hello?
You talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we lost him through the lines.
Yeah, we lost him.
Rachel?
Yeah.
Geez, sorry, I think they're still on.
No, we're still on.
All right, we're still on. All right, well, we're having a little technical difficulties. I want to thank Brian for joining us. Check out Discontinued on the CW December 16th, which is coming up next week, 9:30. Toys That Made Us Season 3 is going to be hitting Netflix at some point, and I would love if we could get Brian to answer that, but I don't know if he can hear us. So the show must go on. All right, Brian, thank you so much. When we come back, we will go...
I can hear you now. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks so much. When we come back, we'll go spinning the racks.
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
The best designs for your life start at home. I'm David Thiergartner, interior designer and host of At Home. Listen live Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time as we talk to the very best professionals about interior design and the design that's all around us, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
TalkingAlternative.com.
draft teams.
Wow.
Based on the likelihood of death.
I don't want to dispute you,
Yeah.
you know, because, we got this thing going.
Mhm.
But it sounds like a lot of work.
Oh, I'm going to be putting a lot of work into this.
Yeah.
You just have to show up.
Oh, okay. No, you know what? It's a great idea.
You had
I like
me at
this.
that.
I like this idea.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm all for it.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. I want to thank our guest, who was pretty awesome, Brian Volk Weiss. Like, just the level of enthusiasm you can hear in his voice is like pretty exciting. You know, like he's.
I was to go home and binge watch that show all over again.
Yeah. No, totally. I think we all should. I think that was really great.
Toys. People don't understand that the not only are the toys nostalgic and wonderful, but also all the commercials and the music and everything that came with them. All the entire what he was saying is one of his prized possessions was not only just the toy but the packaging. Which is a big deal. That's a big deal.
Got that.
Hey man, haven't you ever been at Christmas and you open a present and it's like this box of something that the box is the first thing you see. It's the first thing that tells you that you've received this wonderful thing that you've been trying to get your hands on. You've been scheming and manipulating your parents into buying you, and then and it worked because Santa doesn't exist. Children,
What?
There is no Santa. There is no Santa. Yeah,
you're like
no
the
spoilers.
Grinch rolled in with like Darth Vader, like
Good.
all in one.
Good.
You're Molaram.
Good.
You just ripped out someone's
Good.
heart.
Your story's only as good as its villain. I'm the bad guy.
Now, Kai, before
true,
was
though.
doing tarot card readings to
Yes.
give us the end of Avengers Endgame, which I think actually, had you suggested that, I would have done that over the Choose Your Own Adventure to begin with.
All good.
The cool part about tarot cards,
That's what
though,
you get
is
get
that
when you don't consult your
designed
staff.
Something very specific.
Yes.
Yes.
She's not staff.
She's staff.
She's guest.
Right now she's staff.
She's guest.
She's staff now.
She is?
Yes.
We
have staff in fact.
Your tarot cards have a very it's very particular design to them.
Yes. This is one of.
It's a camera. There's a camera there. You got to show it off.
One of many.
Yes, please.
This one is the Star Wars deck. So there are Star Wars themes in here from all of
Sam's
the movies.
gonna fight your fiance for your hand in marriage. He's like, Del, I'm coming for you.
You've absolutely no idea how true your that statement is.
He's like, he tolerated your presence here, and now he's like,
that
I
one.
single-handedly love
I looked
you
at the
now.
Yoda
Like,
tarot
holy
card and I was
crap.
like, uh-oh.
That's like the Cupid arrow to him.
Yeah, exactly.
You just did that.
Not another Mortal Kombat. I hate fighting people to the death.
And the worst, I like Del a lot more than I like you, too. So I'm rooting for Del.
Everybody does. I'm the bad guy. Lord of the Radio has no friends.
No,
Are
Del's
you
just a
kidding?
really good guy.
Huh?
We just love him. So,
That's
you know,
fine. He's got to be the good guy. I'm the bad guy.
All right, well.
All right, enough of that. But so you design them yourself?
Absolutely. And this one is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh.
So when they say, be the change that you want to see in the world, I was like, why don't these exist? I need them in my life.
Where can folks get those?
You can catch me on Etsy, and the name of the shop is Our Daily Magic.
Our Daily Magic. So go check that out. Go check out all the cool tarot cards. If you buy one, we'll give you no prize.
I've never,
from the show.
I've actually never seen The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I haven't
There's
either.
a long story behind that.
I haven't either.
I've never seen that movie. I was supposed to see it for free when it first came out. It was a premiere. I was supposed to go see it, and I missed. I was late,
and that was it.
And I missed
disappointed
it.
in
And
you,
then
Hassan.
I've never been able to catch the film after
Oh,
that.
gosh.
For
All right.
the 30 years it followed.
We got to roll quick because we're running out of time. We do this every week. We go spinning the racks.
Spin the rack, spin that rack.
The irony here is I'm going to skip over the one you wanted us
You
to do
could've
and go
screwed that
right
up. It
to
would've been I would've been so
Aquaman
happy.
reviews. Does this blockbuster sink or swim? According to the BBC, it is apparently getting mixed reviews from critics. The moratorium is off. And Aquaman is out there. Some reviewers said the blockbuster was a bit of a bore. Others thought it was quite entertaining. It's refreshing to see a hero that doesn't take himself so seriously. Then it's tempting to dismiss this high concept chaos as just another bad superhero movie, but amid the ocean of CGI and patchy script, there's a lot of fun to be had. I'm wondering how many puns for the ocean can we get? There's which one was a good one? Robin Collins gave the film 2 stars. A film you sense would have worked as a flashy, froth-tossed romp feels overburdened and pulled in all directions by vying currents. Wow. See, I like that. This guy actually tried hard, which is pretty good. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to review Aquaman in 2 weeks. We have our 150th episode spectacular live from Funny Business in New York. I can't talk anymore. But next week, we're going to actually review Into the Spider-Verse. So join Hassan and I.
This segment is all wet.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
Sorry. I feel real bad. I feel dirty.
You should feel ashamed. I want to thank our guest, Brian Volk Weiss, again, from the wonderful, wonderful Toys That Made Us show that we love. Discontinued. It is an amazing show as well, too. An amazing concept. We hope it does well for him as well, too. Miss Kai Cole, thank you so much for gracing us.
We would have been underwater without you. Thank you so much.
We made it through. We made it through Avengers Endgame. We made it through Avengers Endgame thanks to you. So, all right. Next week, like I said, we are going to be reviewing Spider-Verse. Is it worth its weight in webbing?
We're going to be soaked.
Plus, we've got Francois
in previews.
from Young the Giant is going to talk about his new album and his pop culture guilty pleasures. So if you like the band Young the Giant, catch us next week. Coming up next, the Gov Shack. The Gov Shack.
You're listening to the Talk